How's it going, Caleb? Great. Oh, yeah.
All right, what's up again? We're back, starting on another video. We got the XJ, already put on some jacks. We're gonna do the leaf springs today. I forgot one important thing. The bushings that are in here, on the new springs, they didn't come with bushings, which I expected them to, but they didn't. So I'm gonna try and force these old ones out, and I'm just gonna reuse the old ones because I want to get these done, and I'm tired of driving around with broken leaf springs and everything. See here, this here is where it was broke at. So she's only been running on, I guess you'd call it, I don't even know what you, packs. I don't know, that's what I've heard them called. So we're gonna throw in the leaf springs and the shocks, which are in the trunk here. Let's see if I can, oh, it's been sticking for some reason. I also got to clean all this stuff out, I guess, so I can get my leaf springs. Probably won't even clean them out. And then I have front shocks, as y'all saw last time, which they're also blown out. I do have, I got sway bar disconnects coming and new sway bar bushings, because this one you can actually, if it's sitting flat and doesn't have all the weight on the front, you can move the sway bar back and forth inside of there. And I want to put a long arm kit on it. I've got to put this is all future stuff. I want to put a long arm kit on the front differential. It's got a leak, so I'll have to get new seals in that. And got a few other parts that are sitting back there on the shelf that I'll get out and start peeling stuff off of here and unbolt everything, drop the axle down a little bit, pull the old springs out, get the bushings out, and throw the new ones in. So this is about to be a fun time, I guess. All right, as y'all have seen, I've gotten got the wheels off and everything. Put Deepcrete on these, on all the bolts I gotta take off. Got the bottom nuts off the bottom part of the bracket. The top does not want to come out, at least on this side. I'm assuming it'll be worse on the other side, because the thing's probably just all rusted as can be. So let's see if I can do this one-handed. Oh, yeah, she does not want to come out of there. Which it might not ever, which is kind of sad. I don't know. It's in here. I can touch it with my finger. It's kind of hard to see. Yeah, I ain't gonna be able to get the camera to pick it up. But I guess I'm gonna try and just punch these out and just leave the brackets. I had some, they're in the cabinet back here tucked away. They came with the Jeep. I got all sorts of stuff in the way, of course. Let's see it in here. Here we go. It came with, well, I guess you'd call them, I wouldn't say lift shackles. I think they're 2 or 3 inch lift, which it's already got a lift on it. Here's some other stuff that come with it. I think that's just exhaust stuff. Come with front suspension parts. I say suspension, steering components. There's a track bar and the front steering, whatever in there. So we're just gonna I just want to drop this so I can see if I can even try and get those off. I might have to get new U-bolts, which I am kind of fearing right now, just with how rusted everything is. So I'm going to attempt to punch this thing out. I'll just probably run a regular hardened bolt, like I was talking about for the bumper, just, you know, this size. And I'm going to try and figure stuff out for it. I'm going to take the exhaust, and it actually is a pretty nice exhaust system, and I'm gonna unbolt it right there. I don't like all this hanging out because it's just hanging. I mean, there's a hanger right here, but there's nothing holding this back here, and it swings around quite a bit. I'm not too fond of that, but I'm not messing with that right now. We're focusing on leaf springs tonight. Kind of worried about that one. I don't think it'll be quite as this one here, quite as bad, but from what I'm seeing with this, I mean, I'm nervous about it. I'm not sure quite what I'm gonna do if I can't get the front one out or these back ones out of the brackets. I don't want to use the torch on anything just because, and the fuel tank's like right next to all this stuff. So I'm trying not to blow myself up. If you give me a little bit, I'm gonna try and see if I can't figure something out. I'll keep the camera on just in case something gives for me and lets me have some grace or whatever. But yeah, now you know what's been taking me quite a minute. I haven't done the mess with that one at all. I think that one might be a little easier, just with being in the front, might not be quite as corroded, which on this side might be pretty bad. Oh, there's a bolt right there too. I don't know what that goes to. All right, cool. This thing doesn't have any sway bars in it, so that's just hanging there. Well, it has front sway bars. It doesn't have rear sway bars, but leaf springs will be all right. But I'm gonna take a camera break and try and figure something out for this real quick. And once I have something figured out, I'll show y'all what I'm doing. Yeah. All right, so we made some progress. We got a new member here. This is Mr. Luke.
Big boy.
Big boy. We got the leaf springs. The bolts are out and everything. Somewhat. We broke. How many brackets did we break? Where's the other part of this bracket still in there? Okay.
Oh, there it is. But
Well, there's a bracket.
the other one's still intact.
Yeah, the other one's still good.
Rusted as shit.
Yeah. So we've got these down. We got the shocks off. What we got over here, Mr. Luke?
Well, we're trying to get these U-bolts to come off.
Yeah.
They're so rusted. They're giving us a little bit of pain, but we got a pretty big breaker bar, so.
Yeah. What else did we find?
Oh, yeah. This is not like, that's no good up there.
Yeah, that's broke. How long? I've been driving on this for. Oh, I've been driving it.
4 months, 5
Yeah,
months?
driving this thing around, dailying it for about 4 or 5 months now. Didn't even realize that the bracket was broke.
Yeah.
What are we doing next, do you think?
Well, we got to break all these loose and then hopefully pop the top of them off. And then probably do the same on the other side. And then well, this one probably will slide out after we take this out. That side seems to be somewhat intact. So we'll have to pull that one off. And she should slide pretty easy, I hope.
Yeah. We got to take the bolts out on the front here. They're being a pain, just like these were.
Yeah.
Breaker bar. Big old breaker bar.
We're
gonna try and use that up there. And we gotta get the springs out still. I haven't even gotten those out of the back of the Jeep yet.
Yeah, the main problem is we gotta keep the U-bolts because we gotta.
We gotta reuse the U-bolts because I did not buy new ones because I didn't think of it. This here, I think, is separate from this bracket.
It is. This pops up. It should pop up.
I want to get rid of that because, as you can see, it's
Oh yeah, that's lovely.
smashed up.
We could probably cut that off, honestly.
Yeah.
If it's not, unless it's holding something.
I don't even know what it's for, but that don't really matter.
Probably just a tiny. I don't know actually.
Yeah,
It looked
shocks
like
are
something was
good.
here, but it broke.
Well, the other side don't even have this bolt through it. It's just there.
There you go. You don't need it. I guess.
Probably just cut that off.
Yeah.
This is track bar mount. But
Yeah. We gotta clean this puppy up real good.
yeah, we'll take her over there to the wire wheel, clean her up, and we gotta punch out the the bushings for this.
You know, you really should have bought new bushings.
I thought my leaf springs come with bushings. We only got.
You would think they would. Though.
Yeah, we only got to take them out right there. Yeah, this one, look, this one's already out.
This one's gonna be a bit. They're gonna be a bitch.
Yeah,
We got a vice, don't we? Yeah.
Yeah, we got a vice. We'll just press them out.
Yeah. Well, do we want to put them on a time lapse while we try to get these off, or what?
Yep, I think we're gonna have to throw y'all on time lapse again, and we're gonna work on this thing for a little while longer. All right, we're back. It's after dinner. Luke headed out. So far, we're having just issues. We got an audience, I guess, right now. I think the axle's offset, so that's gonna be fun to try and mess with. I did end up, what I did was I ran our threading tool on this and re-threaded these ones. I don't know if I won't get the tool onto these, but I'll be able to spin these off. And though I hate doing that, but it'll clean it up as it goes off. And then I'll be able to put the actual threading tool on there. And then, whoopsie, we let the rear axle down a little too far, stretched out this brake line, and it is now leaking brake fluid, which part of that's a rust thing and whatnot, but it's no big deal. Another thing that's a big problem, the bolts, it was one on each side, the bolts that hold the top of the shock in broke off, and then the other two rounded off. So I'm probably gonna just cut the top of that, maybe drill it out and put a new bolt in and thread it. So I'm gonna work on trying to get this off and this one off, because I originally I thought, hey, we can just take the back two off, pull that down through, and then this can just kind of flop to the side. I can get the bushings out of here, which is going to be a nightmare, but that's all right. And then get this bolt out, and the bushing will just kind of fall out, hopefully. I'm hoping. Again, really should have bought myself new bushings, and I don't know, I just didn't think of it. I thought the springs would have come with bushings in them. But they did not. See, they didn't. So that's nice.
Oh, Nash is good.
She's getting Evans from Nash. It's actually started to rain. We got a pretty good storm coming. So I'm probably gonna end up. You can't even see. But probably gonna end up cutting this video off because of the rain. It's whatever. The only problem is it's spring and we got seed we got to get in the ground, and I'm in the way of the seed, so I'm gonna try and get this worked on a little more. get a little further along, see what I can do about the brake line problem, and go from there. All right, it's a new day. Today's Saturday. Yesterday was Friday, obviously. But we're back working on the Jeep. I pulled the exhaust off, and that's because both shock bolts broke off inside there. So I'm gonna drill them out, and I don't even know if that'll thread in there again. So we'll probably just throw self-tappers or something in it. It's just rear shocks ain't gonna do too much if I have self-tappers in it. But since the exhaust is off, we're gonna do something a little fun and start it because it's just got a cat on it right now. So gotta let the fuel pump cycle. It needs a fuel pump regulator. Oh, geez. Yeah, that sounds like a straight pipe 4.0. So, just want to let that start it up and see what it sounds like. It's a little fun. Just because, oh my gosh, that's so loud. Just for a little fun, but I'm gonna keep working on this and try and figure out what I'm gonna do. I'll actually get the camera set up for the rest of this because I kind of am getting somewhere with this. So, gonna go back on a time lapse. All right, so we're back. It's another day right before lunchtime. Want to get a little bit done. It's Monday, and got told by the boss, obviously, which is my dad, need to get this thing out of here because we're gonna be needing to get in here and get some seed out here in a few days. So he said just go ahead and work on it, get it done. I've got the bushings on the way. They're coming from, I have no idea where. I got them off Amazon. They're like $50. But we got one spring off, and this thing, I thought the passenger side was the bad side. And yes, I used the torch. So I found out by research that these bolts that are in here, and same ones with the ones back here, these ones that we've been fighting this whole time. I don't really want to touch this because it's a little hot, but this thing has like a Loctite on it from the factory, and you got to heat this up right here and back there, which we didn't do. We should have. But you got to heat these up so it melts the Loctite off the threads, and then gets it out from inside of the bushing, which, yeah, that thing's a little rough. But I've gotten everything off. I used the torch and heated up the U-bolts. I'm gonna have to rethread them again, which is no big deal. I'll clean them up on the bench grinder and rethread them, and I'll be able to reuse them. This plate, I'm gonna clean up as well. There was that little bracket that was on here. It was, I don't know what that was for. I guess it was like a limiter or whatever, but it was just sitting on the top of there. So it came off whenever I took everything off. I still got that one side. I kind of want to keep it hooked up just to kind of keep the axle in place a little bit. It's really not in place. It's probably crooked, but once I get the other springs in, I'm sure it'll straighten back out, or I'm hoping at least. But yeah, we got this side out, and we still haven't worked on the other side yet. I kind of want to keep it just where it is for right now. And I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do with the rear shocks yet, because they're broke off in there. So I don't know what I'm gonna do right there just yet. But I'm gonna do a little bit of work. I'm gonna put the shackles in already, and that way I'll have a easier way to line these up whenever I go to put the new springs in. And probably gonna clean a lot of the bolts and whatnot up. I don't know if y'all want to watch that. That's just kind of boring sometimes, but I'll probably video it and throw it in just because. So, well, I'm gonna keep working on this thing and see if I can get some more stuff knocked out and hopefully figure something out for the shocks. All right, so since the back end is not able to be finished right now, I don't have all the parts obviously. I'm gonna put the new shocks in the front, which the top nut on the top of the shock is a 15 millimeter, and I believe the bottom two are 14 millimeters. I'm hoping, at least, that's what I got out. I could be wrong. They might be 15 or something, but I'm gonna go ahead and take these off, and I don't really need it up on jacks because the shocks have they're compressed with, I'll just go grab one of it. Here's the new shocks. These shocks they're compressed right now, so my thought is try and hold them down the best I can, long enough to pull this off and get the nut on them, and then let them come up through here and put the bushing that goes on them on. So I'm gonna work on taking the top off, which I think, hopefully I can get my wrench in there. I'll let these things soak in deep creep for a little while. Hopefully they're not gonna be froze on me. Probably gonna have to get a little pipe wrench or something to grab onto there and hold it so I can spin it off. But I guess I'll time lapse it. I'm not really sure. It's kind of hard to video stuff by myself. I need to get a cameraman. So if anyone wants to become a cameraman, let me know. I'm not gonna pay you. You're gonna work for free. But let me know. All right, day number, I don't even know what. I got the front shocks put in. I didn't have the full video of me put them back in because they got to be a pain and my camera kept getting in the way, so I just turned the camera off. But what I did, because these things, so what the problem was is the actual, I'll say on this right here was spinning whenever I was trying to turn the nut off of it. So I ended up getting some vice grips and clamping onto this piece right here, which would be the equivalent to that right there, so that it couldn't spin on me. And this one I got off with a wrench. This one was a little easier over here. I could use a ratchet on this one. That one there. Also made it easier on myself. I ended up turning the wheels so I could get to that better. Obviously, I did the driver's side over here second. I only got pretty lucky. I only broke one bolt. I replaced it with a regular bolt with a lock washer on both sides and then a regular washer on top. Today, what I've gotten done, you can't see from this side, but right here, this here, I got the nut and the old bolt punched out. I got the kit on the way for that. It'll be here today. I gotta grind this one off and then punch it out. And then I should be able to put my rear shocks on. My leaf spring bushings come in tomorrow. I got the ones they're not a solid bushing. They don't go in from one side. What they'll do is I'll press them in from each side, and then the The pin or whatever, the metal insert for that will go in there. I got my bumper cut how I want it. I'm probably gonna clean it up and put like a plate on the end here, close up them holes. So I've gotten quite a bit done. Sorry I haven't been videoing everything. It's just been trying to get this thing done as much as I can. So the videoing is not quite as important as getting it done. I'm not quite as worried about getting the video done. So, but I still have the front end to do for the sway bar bushings and disconnects. Got a new leak of some kind. I think that might just be my power steering leaking, which it does that from time to time. So I don't have too much to do right now, so I'm not gonna do any time lapse. When the kit gets here today, I'll go ahead and video that. Miss Nash laying on her memory foam bed off of an old bed. It's a bed topper. She actually likes it pretty nice. Oh, sorry. Shouldn't have stepped on her bed. She got pretty mad at it. I guess I'll mess with the bumper for a little bit once I get that other bolt cut and knocked out of there. And then I guess I could unbox the shocks, the rear shocks, which these things are kind of sometimes are a pain to get out of there because of it's got like these staple things. Yeah. There we go. Kind of hard to video with one hand. Gotta hold stuff still. See, I was telling you these things are pain in the butt. There you go. But here's the rear shocks. Nothing fancy. Oh, look at that. We got some stickers. Oh yeah. I was pretty mad earlier. Thought they didn't send me no stickers. I love stickers, obviously. As you can see in the front of the Jeep here, we like stickers on the old Jeep here. Since I got two, I'll probably put one on the back of this thing and one inside. But maybe not. I don't know. So I think slap that right there once the bumper's done. Sweet. Well, that just made my day a little better. I love getting stickers, free stickers and stuff. So yeah. So the package has arrived. We got the oh, hold up, this kit that I was telling you all about. So what this does, I'll show you all the instructions rather than crawling under the thing right now. So how well you can read this, I do not know. It's upside down. Nope, it was right side up. All right, so if y'all saw, I knocked my shock bolts out. This has to use an inner hammer. I just used a hammer, but then we slide it in. Hang on, let me get it focused a little better. We slide this in behind the body, and it gives us new areas to bolt to. See, like on right here, because the other ones broke off. So this thing was only about like $14. I got it off Amazon. I paid $10 so I could get it here today because I didn't want to wait till this weekend. So if you have this problem that I had with the shock bolts, also I'd recommend getting one of those tiny butane torches and actually putting it inside the body rail and heating up that bolt and then punching it out from up there, or like what they said, if you have an air hammer, use the air hammer. But I don't have one, and I was just using a hammer and punch, which took me a little bit, but not too bad. But honestly, they don't seem too difficult to put in. If you have this problem, I would recommend getting these. But I'm gonna finally put it on time lapse once again and actually work on it and get these things put in. I'm gonna get my shocks put in, and then we can do these tomorrow. So I'm just trying to get a little bit more done on this thing here and there. And yeah, so I'm gonna throw you all on time lapse and we're gonna get this thing knocked out. Alright, so as y'all saw, I'm sorry I didn't have real good angles on that, but these things were pretty simple to put in. I think I got these things, both of them in like maybe 10 minutes, like maybe less than that. But what they do is they just slip in and basically gives you your shock mounts back. Which I will say the passenger side's a lot easier because with the way the body's shaped, it just kind of fits in there a little better. Like that side and this side seem like, I think that side's a little smaller, but they weren't too bad to get in. I really should have put it in at this angle, but yeah. So I'm gonna let the shocks hang right there. I'm not gonna bolt them up or anything to the axle just yet, just to make it a little easier when I go to throw the leaf springs on. And I think that's about all I'm gonna do. They're not tight yet because I want to wait till I get everything in, and then I'll snug everything else up. But I think I'm gonna be done with this for right now, and I'll pick you back up tomorrow whenever the bushings for the springs get here. All right, quick little side off-topic bit. I took the exhaust off when I first started this just to get it out of the way, and I knew at one point I wanted to get rid of this here. They come all the way past the fuel tank out the back, and I knew once I get a skid plate on this, it'd still be out there able to be caught on stuff. So what I ended up doing, I had a resonator on it. Don't judge my welds, I'm not a great welder. But I cut the resonator out and re-welded it. Just took this pipe and slid it back. And then this thing came with a new MBERP or whatever exhaust on it. It was on there when I bought it. And I ended up, actually had, some of you may know, I had an old WJ. So I had this piece off my WJ that I cut. It was an elbow, and I cut it flush right there. And made myself a little turn down right before the axle. And then had just some stock lying around. You know, being on the farm, you always got stock lying around. And used this factory hanger and ran this down and bent it to fit and welded it here. And it's got a pretty good weld on the back side there. And now, if I can get it not to glare, we've got exhaust that dumps right here underneath under the body, right before the axle. It's not terribly loud like it was earlier in the video when it was just the resonator, didn't have a muffler on it. I think it's decent, you know, not too terrible. Once again, got to fix the fuel regulator. Haven't gotten to that yet. Sounds about like it used to. Just not straight out the back anymore. dumps right there underneath the body here. So works pretty good. Doesn't really, the reason I put that hanger in, I was worried about it vibrating too much. The other hanger's up there by the transmission, but it's not too loud. I'm pretty proud of that. It was a short little, I think it took me about an hour to fab all that up, so not too bad for an hour's worth of work. I think it looks pretty decent, I think. Here's a better angle for you. All that was just clamps and everything, but now I don't have to worry about smashing my exhaust on rocks when I go off-roading or whatever, and hopefully it lasts me a good long time. All right, it's Wednesday. The leaf spring bushings will be here today. So I am working on getting this side unbolted. I went ahead and put jacks under here, swept out all the dirt and whatnot out from under this thing, and used the torch on this bolt here, the U-bolts, and I'm gonna pull these off so that whenever the bushings get here, I can press them in, get everything put back together pretty quick, and I'll be able to go from there. Really just wanting to get this thing pulled out of the shop, so I'm gonna put y'all on a time lapse, and you're gonna watch me unbolt this leaf spring. Alright, so as y'all saw, I've been fighting this thing a little bit. I had to get, I don't know what these are called, but this tool, which I should have grabbed this a couple days ago. Thought it was in here in the shop. It was in one of our other buildings out here on the farm. So what you do, slip this over your bolt, and I can put leverage on it with there's a nut right there, or a bolt right there I can grab, or I can just kind of do one of those, but probably just gonna grab that bolt that's hanging down, and it should push this bolt out, and then I'll work on the U-bolts right here and try and get this thing done. All right, well, the camera cut out while I took my U-bolts out. I thought I pressed, well, I didn't cut out. I thought I pressed record, but I don't. I'm just have this sitting in here right now. I'm gonna have to mess with the axle a little bit just to get it to sit in there just right. But we've got both springs out. Bushing should be here after lunch. It said between like, I think it was 12:45 to 3:45 is when it should be here. So this afternoon sometime. So I'm hoping to get that and get it all put back together. All I really have to do, put my U-bolt, or put my springs, bushings, U-bolts, and then bolt my shocks up. And I should be able to pull this thing out finally. And we'll be done with this. All right, everybody, they're finally here. The bushings for the leaf springs have finally come in. So we're gonna tear into the box here. I already got the box open. This is the 2-spring kit, which these go like, obviously, these go like this inside the end of your springs. And then you just got the little pins, or metal bushings, or whatever you want to call these, that slip inside of here. It's actually sliding a lot better than I thought they would. But I'm gonna go ahead and start time-lapsing stuff and get this thing done so I can get it out of the shop and not have it sitting in the way of the seed. All right, so I got everything bolted up. It's not tightened down yet. Those are the only bolts that are really pretty tight. Got the leaf springs in. Just gotta work this axle to tip it back just a little bit so that I can put my U-bolts and bolt them in. Once I get the weight of the Jeep on this thing, these leaf springs should flatten out a little better. So I'm gonna work on that. And then I gotta bolt up shocks, and I should be able to pull this thing out of here once I get everything tight. So. Alright, so I've got the springs mounted. I've got to tighten up the front bracket, or not bracket, the front spring mounts, and tighten the rear spring mounts. I've gotten everything centered up where it's back where it's supposed to be. Since I'm back here, I'm going to go ahead and cut my shocks and let these slide on. Hopefully I didn't lose the... Okay, I'm kind of worried I lost the nut off of the shock mount. But these things come down pretty quick, so you have to be kind of fast with them. Oh. Alright, well, I'm going to have to compress it just a little bit to get the shock on. Should be enough. Oh, still not enough. All right, cool. But I'm gonna work on putting the shocks on, and then after I get the shocks on, I'm gonna tighten up the front and rear, or the front bolts, and then the rear shackle bolts and everything. And I guess it'd be time to throw wheels and tires on it. So, been a while, and about a half a week's worth of work, mostly just waiting on parts, but it's been pretty rough. So. Say, after a little test drive, I think we might need to take a pack out of the springs, because this thing rides like a log wagon. I mean, terrible. Or we're either going to take a pack out, or we need to actually get different shackles for it. Because I don't know if y'all can see this, but we are on a bumpy road, but this thing is like nose diving like crazy. It is awful. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. We've got a bad driveline vibration too, which I'm not surprised by, but this thing needs different shackles or something, because oh my gosh, it's so bad. So that's it for this one. This whole thing has been kind of a big fail, but I'm gonna own that. I'm still gonna show all y'all my fails and everything, but hey, we made a nice exhaust for it, so I mean, I'm happy about that. So I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one, and come back for some more adventures with 12 Hour Sam.